What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 65 of Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast. Remember, if you like that, join us live every Thursday here on YouTube, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you can't catch us live, no worries. We post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service. Speaking of audio services, Spotify, like I mentioned, has added ratings. So the small percent of you that do listen over there, please drop us a rating, 5-star, 1-star, whatever you feel is appropriate. It does help us. If you're not on Spotify, Apple has the same feature. And if you give us a 5-star review and rating over on Apple Podcasts, I will read it live on the show. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Man. And today I welcome back the baby boy and future esports expert, Aman. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Kevin. I started a new esports journey this week, so we'll get more into that later today.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to know what you're going to go pro in. I also have the double A man himself, the voice from the void, Garrett. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm all right. I had a mixed week. Happy to be here on the podcast. I'm going to have some fun with you guys. But guys, if you are an audio listener, you will have no idea what I'm about to say, but if you're not an audio listener, you may see an unfamiliar face on your screen. That's because I teased we have a special announcement, and we do. Due to the scheduling, some of our panel isn't always able to make it, so we've decided to add another member here to Project XTalk. He'll be on the podcast. He'll be making content for our channels, so you'll be hearing from him, seeing him around. I'm happy to introduce White Sea Deer, or as he'll be known, Ethan, because that's his human name. So everyone, please welcome him in the comments. Welcome, Ethan. How are you doing?
I am doing great, Kevin. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the introduction. I'm excited to get started with you guys and to talk about video games with y'all for the next year. So let's get started. Let's do this.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. Like I said, when we first talked about you joining us, that people can't always make it. We're looking for someone, and you fit the bill. You got the credentials. We were happy with what we saw. So we're happy to have you here.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Now it's time for the interrogation. We're gonna learn more about you before we get into. So Garrett and Aman, you guys sit tight. You could maybe ask him a question if you want to. I got a few. Firstly,
I've already deep-seated myself with him. I'm not gonna lie. We've been playing together.
It's ingrained in my brain at this point.
Yeah. He's great at capture the flag.
I'm not great at capture the flag. I'm not great.
Definitely. No, Ethan. We had some moment. Some sensitive days.
It's a beautiful moment.
Well, we're off to a good start. Mayday Bomber says Ethan Winters is here.
Winters.
The protagonist from Resident Evil 7.
Oh, yeah. I get that sometimes, yeah.
So, Ethan, since we are an Xbox podcast, I want to know, what was your first Xbox?
So, my first Xbox was technically the Xbox. It was the first one. Although I was very, very young, my memories of it are scarce. My father is the one that bought it to play Madden on, mostly. But he got me a bunch of Star Wars games because I love Star Wars. So I remember playing Knights of the Old Republic on it. Battlefront, the first one. Star Wars Republic Commando was another big one that I used to play. But the first Xbox that I owned myself, that was my own system, was the 360. We bought it at launch. I was one of the lucky few that never experienced the Red Ring of Death. So looking back and seeing how many issues there were with it, I'm very happy that that was not the case. And I grew up with the 360, so I guess the 360 was my first personal console.
Okay. Good one to start with. I think that was a lot of people's first introduction to Xbox. Keeping on the Xbox theme, what is your favorite Xbox franchise?
I guess Xbox exclusive, I would have to say Halo. I mean, I grew up with Halo 3. That was the biggest game of my life at that time. If we want to move outside into third-party game titles, it would have to be the Mass Effect trilogy. That's my favorite series of all time. But if we're sticking with Xbox exclusive, it's got to be the Halo series.
Oh, you saved me a next question. I was literally about to ask you, what is your favorite game of all time?
Well, hold on, because my favorite game of all time
is different than series.
Yes and no. All right, so I've been asked this question obviously a lot what's your favorite game of all time? It's what a lot of people ask. And depending on what day it is, I'll have a different answer for it. It's between 3 games. So when I answer this question, I always just give 3 games because I cannot choose between them. It is Mass Effect 2, Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1. That is my 3. I cannot choose between those. So you can obviously tell what type of games I like from those 3. But yeah, those are my favorite games of all time.
So you're an RPG guy, you'd say.
Yeah, you could say.
All right, it's just a shame you like Cyberpunk. I mean, I thought you'd have you like some good RPGs there.
I'm not putting it up on the pedestal as high as those 3 that I just mentioned, but it's an enjoyable experience. That's all I can say.
Well, I'm glad to know we agree on Mass Effect 2 being the best, which apparently that's up for debate.
I don't think it is.
But some people, I like Mass Effect 1 a lot. Don't get me wrong. Mass Effect 1 is great. I love the RPG elements in Mass Effect 1.
Clunky, though. A little clunky.
Play the Legendary Edition. It's
much better. Yeah.
It's not that bad anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, do you have any questions to interrogate Ethan before we get started with the show? Mayday Bomber, ask him if he likes anime and JRPGs. Okay.
Yes and yes. Big fan of anime. Me and my wife watch anime all the time. JRPGs. I haven't been a fan of JRPGs up until last year. I bought Scarlet Nexus. I got Tales of Arise. I played both of those, and I absolutely loved both of them. I love Tales of Arise more than Scarlet Nexus.
Absolutely.
But both of those games were absolute bangers, and I fell in love with JRPGs from that point. And then I bought Nier Replicant and loved that game. So going forward, I'm probably going to be playing a lot more JRPGs.
Great. If you have a PlayStation, I recommend Persona 5.
I'm still on the lookout. Haven't had a PlayStation since the PS2, so I'm working on it.
If you have Steam, Persona 4, because Persona is fantastic.
I'll have to look out.
Persona 4 is obviously a little dated. If you can look past the if graphics don't really matter to you, then but the story wise and everything else, Persona 4 is immaculate. So Mayday Bomber says, okay, he can stay. I approve of everything he just said.
I got Mayday Bomber's approval. This is good.
That's right. Well, now that we know we can keep our new co-host, which that's good.
Wait. So you're just gonna walk past me and Garrett here? Wait, we need to ask.
No. Let's move on.
I've got more questions.
We need to ask you a question here.
I already
at least I
played with him. I know everything I need to. He's chill.
It's everything.
Okay, Amon.
A lot of gaming in common.
All right, Amon. What do you got? What do you need to know?
Do you like the Batman Arkham trilogy?
Of course.
So I played Arkham Asylum. I haven't played the other 2.
Oh my god.
So hold on. This will come up later. I made a New Year's resolution to go through 3 game series this year that I never played. One of them is the Batman series. So I am planning on playing all 3. I will also play Origins, but
unlike Kevin, the games are $4 and he's not willing to spend $4 to just experience greatness.
I already remastered trilogy
worth
on the
$400, but he just needs to pay $4 to experience greatness. But he's refusing to do it, guys. Come on.
Okay.
I love how he's not even trying with me. He's been like $4 on you all week. Hasn't asked me once.
Listen. Okay, so you can either spend that $4 on the Arkham trilogy, or you can take it and buy Toy Story 3.
Oh, fuck.
I'd rather buy Toy Story 3.
What a game!
I have a review coming out for next week. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel. You'll understand why Toy Story 3 is the one you should go with. Mayday Bomber says, weren't they on Game Pass? I think one of them is still on Game
Arkham Asylum
Arkham
was
Knight,
on
the
it.
last one in the trilogy, is still on Game Pass.
Okay.
So,
any further questions, Amon?
Oh no, I was gonna ask you about Cyberpunk, but since he already loves Cyberpunk, so
you got it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, now that we got that out of the way, as we do each and every week here on Project XTalk, we start the episode by going around the room and asking one simple question, and that question is, "What you playing?" So, Ethan, you're the new boy on the block. I gotta start with you. What are you playing currently?
Ooh. So this is quite a list, so I'll try and be quick about it. So I am making my rounds, of course, on Halo Infinite and Call of Duty Vanguard. hate me all you want for Call of Duty. It has a better progression system than Infinite, and I will die on that hill. So I've been making my rounds on the multiplayer for that.
For now.
For now. Yeah, for now. I've also recently re-downloaded Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall from Bethesda's website, and it also comes with a DOS emulator. So I've been playing a bit of that. That's been a lot of fun jumping back into that whole world. Very old RPG game, one of the granddaddies of big open world RPGs. And then I've also been playing a new Game Pass drop these last couple days called Olija. It's kind of an 8-bit side scroller. It's actually really fun. This is normally a game that I would look at in the store and say that's not worth the $20 or the $15. But because of Game Pass, I'm playing it and I'm absolutely loving it. It's a really fun game. So those are the core games. And then I'm also doing a playthrough of Dragon Age Origins, which is one of the game series that's on my New Year's resolution to finish. So a lot of games I'm playing, trying to get through a bunch. I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm going to work through it. And it's been a lot of fun.
Sounds interesting. I did look at that Olija game, and I had the reaction where I was like, I don't really know if I want to play that just by looking at it. But if it's good, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I usually don't play these 8-bit games. I've kind of gotten over the whole 8-bit trend. But I just picked it up because it's on Game Pass. I'll give it a shot. And the soundtrack, the score, the story, it's a beautiful game. So I recommend picking it up and playing through a little bit.
Okay, well, free on Game Pass, guys. So if you can't afford free $99, I don't know what to tell you. Aman, I'm gonna go to you next.
If you can't afford $4.99, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God, let it go. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna secretly play them all this year, and then at the end of the year, I'm gonna let him know what I think of them. I'm gonna
You better turn off your achievements so people can't see them, unlike some other
like
developers that we'll talk about later.
Review with
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. Aman, what are you playing besides the Batman stand simulator over there?
Okay, so I've been playing quite a lot this week. I downloaded the Mass Effect Legendary Edition today. I downloaded it this morning, and I've only put in about a couple of hours. But yeah, it is a massive improvement because I think on Game Pass they also have the 360 versions. It is a massive improvement from those. I tried those like early in the year and I just couldn't. But yeah, massive improvement. Loving it so far. I'm gonna give like a review in a few weeks, maybe on the podcast. I also gone back to Halo Infinite. I'm trying to get the 100%. Trying to get all the audio logs and the hidden skulls and all of that. So I've been playing that. But best for last, guys. My new esports game. Last week I tried out Street Fighter. It didn't really work out, but this time I tried out Injustice 2.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot easier than Street Fighter. I'm gonna start off with that. Career's going well so far. I've played 5 games, lost 4 times, but won once.
How is that going well?
Yeah, that's better than Street Fighter. Okay, that was 17 losses and 0 wins. Okay, so it's better than Street Fighter. So yeah, I'm loving it. I beat the story in like 4 hours. Got most of the achievements, and now all I need to do is kickstart my esports career. Hopefully, make Project XTalk famous one day.
Now, you said you got most of the achievements. Is it an easy achievement list?
Well, it is. Yeah, it depends how you want to approach it. So like most of the achievements, you can just go on quick play and be like put the settings on very easy and earn them that way, or you can take the hard route and earn it with the higher difficulty on. So it's really up to you.
I mean, I'm all about boosting achievements. You know what I'm saying. Mayday Bomber says, I hear most champions start out 1-4.
You're hearing right, my friend.
I want to touch on Mass Effect. Are you going Renegade or Paragon?
Renegade.
That's the question.
Renegade.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think that's
how you
the
play
question so much. What's your build style? Like, are you soldier, engineer, biotic?
Soldier.
Boring.
So I did Mass Effect 1 soldier, and then I switch it up for 2 and 3 because I feel like in 1 it doesn't really matter that much.
That's what I'm planning with. I feel like have a different build each game.
Yeah, in the original Mass Effect, it mattered a lot because it would determine what weapons you could or could not use. With the legendary
Yeah.
edition, you're free to do whatever you want with whatever class you pick. But
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. 2, I felt like the customization, like the actual skill trees were a lot better in 2.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion. 3 is
Absolutely.
3 is bad. 3 is not, and 3 is barely an RPG at that point. The way how much depth there is to it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. Okay, Renegade. I'm a Paragon guy, but I don't think I've ever done a Renegade run. I've played this game like 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
You just don't want to be the douche across the galaxy?
No, I can't.
You don't want to be efficient.
I've done one
Yeah,
Renegade
just-
action. I've done one Renegade action ever, and it was punching the reporter in the face.
Oh,
She just made me mad when I was originally playing it. Garrett, what you playing?
I've been playing Halo Infinite a lot this week, but I've had friends in and out of town for New Year's, and I was just going through a lot of Game Pass with whatever they had on the cloud gaming, and all I gotta say, Lawn Simulator, you gotta tell me what cut height you want me to do my yard at. That is the most infuriating thing ever. Have you guys tried that?
No,
I can't say I have.
I
Yeah,
won't
no,
be
like-
trying.
No, like my one buddy was just going through and just trying a bunch of random things, and we could not figure it out. You only get paid when it's like the correct cut height, and you could adjust it, but it doesn't tell you what cut height it is. It just tells you when you're wrong,
So,
but like
okay.
5 seconds after you're wrong. So it's like next to impossible.
Mhm.
I can't figure it out.
You just gotta
Somebody
try them
message
all.
down below. I must be an idiot.
Just gotta try them all.
Yeah,
That's
so I just
unfortunate,
like
'cause that was
ended up
supposed to be a
going through
Game
the
of the Year
yard, like
contender.
making waves. Yeah,
Yep.
no, like I couldn't figure it out. Maybe it's like some button to know these things. I don't know. I only played it for like 30 minutes, but that was an infuriating thing.
Mayday Brahmer bringing the fire today. He says, "Has anyone tried that but you?"
I do have a
Actually, though, a few
revelation. I'm a
people-
big fan of Euro Truck Simulator 2. So I have
think
dipped
Tom
into
played
some of
that.
these. Yeah, I have
Oh,
dipped
okay.
into some of these simulator games. I'm not against it, but Lawn Simulator, that just might be too much for me.
The best simulator game is Goat Simulator. That game
That
is
is
next
great.
level.
That was
It
awesome.
was just after a snowstorm, guys. We just wanted to pretend it was summer, all right? up in Canada. It's cold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah, Sean Capri tells me it's negative 27 up there in Canada,
Woof.
wherever he's located. Anything else, Garrett, besides Halo and lawn mowing simulator?
Oh, I tried a whole bunch like that. What was it? Like the the drifting relax one where it's like low polygon count, but it's good sound. It was a nice relaxing one. And then I don't know. We tried like a whole bunch. I'm not going to list them all off.
Okay.
If it was a racing game that you could access through cloud, I probably played it for 10, 15 minutes. Most somewhat decent, but I'm not going to mention.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I also tried some games on Game Pass, and I have a video coming out next week called 2 of the worst Game Pass games I've ever played, or something along those lines. So, I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but you'll get my more in-depth thoughts if you watch that video. But one is called Rush, a Disney Pixar adventure, and it is god awful. It's made by Asobo, the people that made Flight Simulator and A Plague Tale. So I was like, it's got to be good. It's not good. It is dreadful. The gameplay, I think it was originally meant to be a Kinect game because you can use the Kinect with it, but then I think it added controller support, and the controller controls just don't work sometimes. Like you can't do what it's asking you to do. It's like throw a ball and you either throw it 2 inches in front of you or you bomb it 40 yards like Tom Brady. So there's literally no in between. That game was infuriating. Uninstalled very quickly. The other one was totally reliable delivery service. It's one of those like human fall
I saw
flat
you
games.
playing that.
That game is trash.
Yeah, I
like
saw
it's
you too.
listen, it can be funny. All right, if you're playing with someone else, like I was, it can be funny, but it is a garbage game. It's broken on a technical level. Like I hop in the back of the delivery vehicle and my legs go through it. So my feet are sticking out the bottom and then I get stuck and I can't get out. I swear, half the gameplay you guys are going to see in the video on Wednesday, I think when it goes up, I think that's when I scheduled to go out, is just glitches. Is literally just people getting stuck in ridiculous places, like nonsense happening. So yeah, more in-depth thoughts on those two on Wednesday, I believe. Keep an eye out for that. I finished Alan Wake Remastered. My review for that went up yesterday. I really liked it. It's a phenomenal story, which is, it's not Remedy's. I wouldn't say it's their weakness, but like Control, I think is a good story, but it's a little convoluted. If you played Control, like, can you explain to me everything that happened in Control? I guarantee you cannot. They literally just say words and show pictures sometimes. I think Alan Wake has a better story. It's easier to understand. And that's surprising because I like the main character of Control a lot more than I liked Alan Wake. The first half of Alan Wake, I was like, I hate this guy. He's a jerk. I do not like him. But the gameplay is a little dated, but I enjoyed it overall. I think it's definitely worth it. You can check out my full thoughts on the actual game on the channel. And then been playing Halo Infinite, obviously not as much as usual. I've just been busy this week. I really hate Fiesta. I really hate it. Like, that's my main takeaway.
Really?
I hate Fiesta
Really?
so much. It's literally my least favorite game mode besides Free for All. I hate Free for All, but Fiesta is such garbage. Like, it's so RNG based. It's nonsense. Like, how is it fair that I spawn with a plasma pistol and a mangler over and over again, and the other team spawning with rocket launchers and cinder shots?
Well, that's the
I
point
don't
of
know,
it.
man.
It's chaos. You
I
go into
understand
it for
that.
chaos.
But when you give me challenges to say win, and then I literally can't win
That's true. Yeah.
because you're
Well,
not
yeah,
giving me
okay.
tools to win.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually gonna say, hey, do you guys want to play some Halo Infinite? Because I have to do some Fiesta after this. But
Yeah.
I have one where it's like I have to stop 5 killing sprees, or and 5
that's
killjoys, and it's just
nonsense.
like, how am I supposed to find 5 people that survived long enough in
Mhm.
Fiesta
Yeah.
to kill
I haven't-
5 people when everyone has
I think
rocket
that's-
launchers and swords?
Yeah, I think that's more of an issue with the progression side than the actual playlist, though. I think if you didn't have these challenges really tied to individual playlists like this, it would be a lot more fun because you're just going in there to cause
Yeah.
chaos, to get the spanker, to get the
Well,
grab
no.
hammer, to have sword fights, stuff like that.
And I don't listen.
In context, it is for the event. By the way,
Yeah.
that samurai
Yeah.
suit thing's back for the week.
Yeah. I just got the left. I'm like level 11 or something in that event thing. But
Yeah, I didn't know about it the first week, so I just started.
yeah, I think there is a cap for how far you can go. So if you miss the first week, I don't think you can
I'm
get it all.
pissed. Yeah, I think there's 11 this week, and I got 4 left. So I'm hoping that there's 11 too, because I just want to get that Soul Devil assault rifle skin. The rest of it.
Yeah, so I'm not I don't like Fiesta. I just, please don't ever tie another armor set to that game mode. Like, it's fine for it to exist. I will ignore it. Every other game mode I'm pretty fine with. Like, I enjoy Tactical Slayer and Quick Play. I just wish there's still a way to choose what you wanted in Quick Play. So if I only want oddball matches, let me get, because if you give me a challenge and then I have to play for 3 hours to get oddball, because despite what they say, it's definitely not random. There are definitely some days where you're more likely to get certain game modes. It just has to be. Some nights I play
or they should
only oddball.
you could, or just raise your chances by vetoing, let's say, 4 of the maps out of an 8-thing playlist or something, just to increase your odds.
That'd be easy. Launch site gone, Behemoth gone.
Do the same thing that Call of Duty does. You can go in and you can choose what you want.
Gone.
One flag CTF is the worst.
Worst. Whoever gets defense first wins 90% of the time.
It's not fun.
So infuriating.
Most of the time, me and my friends, if we get one flag CTF and then we lose a round, we just stop playing and let them. You can have it. We don't care. It's an awful game.
Yeah.
that map to launch site, it works with nothing else but One Flag CTF, and they want to put it on other playlists, and it's garbage. No matter what game.
It's a bad map. It's a bad
Terrible.
map.
Terrible.
It's
Yeah,
the
it's
only one that I
a
look at, and I'm
horrible
like,
map.
yeah, it's the only one I look at, and I'm like, this is a bad. Like every other map, I'm pretty okay with, but this one is objectively awful.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is,
Yeah.
but whoever, and I tweeted this, whoever decided, hey, Behemoth would be a great tactical Slayer map, you can get that out of here. Like,
No.
oh my lord, what is wrong with you? It just turns into people like firing across, like spawning, getting shot. Like, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. Other than that, last game I'm going to talk about, Transformers Battlegrounds, guys. This came to Game Pass last month, I believe. It's a game. Like some Hasbro gave them an IP and was like, develop a game for this, and they did. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's
That speaks volumes to how the game is.
Yeah, you really
it's
resonate with me. You struck my soul.
It's a tactics game. So it's like Gears Tactics, but if Gears Tactics had all the budget and like quality sucked out of it and
Like, don't
replaced
get
with
me wrong, I want to
Transformers.
go back to Wasteland 3, so that's moderately interesting.
I just wanted like a turn-based strategy fix, and like this is giving it to me, but I play like 2 missions, then I'm like, all right, I'm done for tonight. I'm done for today. I got enough of this. It's just I'll probably do a more in-depth review on it, but like, man, as someone that grew up with Transformers and like the cartoons and like loving a lot of it, this is like the worst thing that has happened to Transformers since Michael Bay. I don't know.
Ooh, yes.
I don't know half the Transformers that it's showing me, first of all. Like, who are these people? The only positive is there's a Dinobot. Like, Dinobots are dope.
There's okay, that's decent.
There's one Dinobot so far. I don't know if there's more.
They didn't have Cheetor though?
No,
remember
not
that
that I've
thing.
seen. Man, I haven't even seen Optimus Prime yet. The only Transformer, there's like 2 Transformers I've seen that I know, and that's Bumblebee and Starscream. Everyone else is just like, who are you people? Like, how did you get in this game? Yeah, but that's what I've been playing. Lots of fun, not so fun. Oh, and FIFA 22. Aman, you're right. I downloaded it again.
I told you this would happen. I told you this would happen. Why did you download it again for now?
Because Arsenal's matches kept getting postponed, so I couldn't watch them in real life. So I was like, I'm gonna play career mode with them. And Gabriel
You
Martinelli.
dropped it after like 4 hours.
No, I'm still playing. I'm still playing.
Oh, you're still playing? Okay. No, see, that's what I do. I'm like, okay, Liverpool are rumored to sign this player. Okay, I'll go on career mode. I'll sign him, and I'll start playing a few games. And then 4 hours later, I drop it.
Yeah, exactly. Gabriel Martinelli, I made him a striker. He has 23 goals in 12 Premier League games or something.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. He's like broken in this game. Like, I'm playing a world class, so like I'm playing one away from legendary. He got 5 against Man City, man. 5
against Man City.
I know. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, but then I'll draw Newcastle and I'll be like, I don't understand this game. So, Bucky Blue says, I was gonna say, if they don't have Bumblebee, I don't want it. See, I don't even like Bumblebee. The only good part about Bumblebee is that Haley Steinfeld in the movie, and I love her. She's great.
She is actually...
just to let y'all know, Bucky Blue, that is my beautiful wife, Kendall. So just for future reference, if you guys see her name pop up, that's who it is.
No, well, thank you for the support, Bucky. Shout
Bucky.
out Ethan's wife. Okay, guys, are you ready for a segue? Because we can grab some books from the library, and you guys can listen while I tell you this week's stories. Story number 1.
Every time.
It's gonna be corny. All right, this is what we're doing here. So story number 1 Is GoldenEye about to make a comeback on Xbox? This comes from Andy Robinson over at Video Game Chronicles. He reports that speculation has increased around a potential official re-release of Rare's GoldenEye 007 after achievements were reportedly uncovered. The achievements, which were uncovered by True Achievements, it's a website. It's a great website. I use it all the time. The list includes artwork for each achievement and includes 1,000 gamer score worth of achievements and not 200 gamer score, which would have been the original gamer score amount for the planned 360 live arcade version. That fuels the fire that this is not that version, but a re-release of the original. So far, there are only 2 people that have the achievements, Big Sheep and X-Tin McGrath, which actually belong to 2 Rare employees, lead engineer James Thomas and community head Christina McGrath. So guys, sounds like GoldenEye might be coming back. I'm going to throw it over to you, Ethan, first. What do you think about GoldenEye coming back?
So obviously this is an exciting idea that this might come back. I'm not going to get my hopes up because this has happened before and licensing has gotten in the way. Obviously, this is one of the most complicated licenses in video games right now. I mean, you have Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all holding rights to this IP, and that can be difficult to work through. But the fact that we have a game score, we have achievements, and we're seeing achievements being unlocked by people tells me that it's in a playable state. I don't know where it is in the development cycle, if it's close to going gold or if they're just starting out, who knows. But I also want to bring up that there was sort of a reimagining in 2010 on the Wii, but they kind of changed it from the Pierce Brosnan 007 from 97 and kind of ported it over and put Daniel Craig in the game and changed up some of the characters. So we haven't seen an actual remaster, a 1-for-1 remaster of this game. And so since 97, the only way to play this game is on the Nintendo 64 with the cartridge. So this is obviously a really exciting thing. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it's in a playable state. So I think things are looking up from here.
Mm-hmm. Aman, did you want to chime in there? You were on mute.
I need to ask, was this game like a big thing back in the day?
Oh, buddy.
Listen, okay.
Garrett,
it was.
Garrett.
Yeah,
You're just
Garrett,
being ignorant.
You're the oldest here on the podcast, I believe. Can you please educate the youth here?
Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Was it like Fortnite level big, or like how big was
No,
it?
it wasn't Fortnite level big, but it was every sleepover ever for a decade.
Right.
Like, you guys didn't have that social interaction in your youth, so I can't really talk to you about that joy of a sleepover. But
You didn't have sleepovers.
You didn't sleep.
yeah. Yeah, right. But like, it was like a thing that everyone played, and like everyone would always try to get like Odd Job because he was a little bit shorter, because everyone would go around with the same head height thing because it was an N64 game back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Or the pure and utter rage of running for the golden gun and losing it to like another character 3 feet short just to turn. And because the huge hitboxes, they would just like hit you in the ankle and you'd one shot, one kill, done. It's the golden gun. And like, it was just back in the day, it was on, we thought it was on the same level as like Xbox Halo. Yeah, it was like a good proper.
This was the
thing.
definitive first-person shooter of an entire generation, I would argue.
Oh, okay,
I mean, up until Halo, I mean, this was the first-person shooter you wanted to play.
So this is before Halo?
This was in 1997. It got released for the N64.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, this is N64 era. So I think that's a good comparison. This is the game.
Yeah, like I think it really went from like, just in short, it went like in shooting to like Doom 2 era to like straight looking at things to 007. Then there was a brief thing with Perfect Dark, also great game. And then it went to like Halo Combat Evolved and what we know with Call of Duty. And then there was like Medal of Honor Airborne back in the day. And like that was the evolution of shooters.
Yeah.
And like it was just a pivotal stepping stone.
Yeah. So
I was a little confused because like IO were also working on a James Bond game. So I was like, is this that game or so?
No, so this is definitely not the IO interactive game, which again, like Ethan was saying, where's the license for James Bond?
Right.
Like IO has a get
It's
like
insane.
how are they managing to put this back out, if they are managing to put it back out, if it's not just Rare messing around with like old school like files that they have still, because Rare made this game back in the day.
At least with
Right.
IO, they don't got to mess with Nintendo because IO is making its own IP. With GoldenEye 007, this started with Nintendo, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So this Xbox is only the second platform it's coming on, or was it also on the PlayStation?
Yes.
No, it was never.
No,
it was
it's
never on
just on the
PlayStation.
N64.
Yeah, it was just an N64 game. But I think what they were saying, the comparison between what Halo was for the Xbox, where everyone was getting together and having LAN parties with Halo, I think N64 era, that was this game. Like you got a group of people together and you all just played 4-player split screen in 007. Like that's just what you did. I do, since we brought up the Nintendo issue, how you brought up the IP. Obviously, this game is a Nintendo 64 game. How are they bringing it there? You'd have to think there is some behind the scenes deal with Nintendo to be like, hey, we're going to put this on Xbox. And the only thing I can think of is if you look at Nintendo Expansion Pass Plus, or with the Nintendo Online Plus Expansion Pass, they're giving them Banjo-Kazooie. Like Banjo's Rare IP, and they're letting them put it on that service. So maybe there's a behind the scenes deal there where like, hey, we're going to give you this if you let us do this. Does that sound plausible to you guys?
Yeah.
It
There
could be.
had to have been some behind the scenes deal because I mean, you have Banjo-Kazooie on Game Pass. So I mean, obviously something's already been worked out between Xbox, Rare, and Nintendo to where we can get old titles that used to be exclusive to Nintendo onto the Xbox. So I don't know what the deal is. Nintendo is notoriously quiet about any business dealings, so we're probably never going to hear any of the details about this deal. But I'm just glad it's happening, that it exists.
And that one last question I want to bring up regarding this game is when it comes out, because I do think it's going to come out. I think this is all definitive information. Do you think it's going to hold up, or are we all going to play it and be like, this is bad?
I don't want it to go down that route. Like that's what I was saying. Like I think in a few shows before, I forget exactly when, I really hope they let this remaster fad die and burn. I'm not gonna lie, because people like Amon, how many remasters have we tried to give this guy just for him to pick it up and like, no, it's dated, and put it back down after a little bit, right? Like just do it some justice. All that I'm saying is like, you guys know when you're on some sort of social media thing going through like a gaming thing and you see those Minecraft videos where it's like the little house and then like right next door they build like a slightly more elaborate house. I think they should do something like that. Give it the same vibe, give it the same aesthetic of running down the runway in the first mission, but make it more evolved. Give better AI, give us a tuck around a corner, give us a few mods that we could field throw on our gun, and give like a little bit of a step up, but still have the nuances of our youth. I think that's the more thing that we should transition into. Not a direct remaster, but like a rememory, if that makes sense. Not quite a remake, because lots of people on remakes, they just like, no, like no, not even that. I want it more. Like I want a bigger mission, even add some open world element where you could actually take a plane to the next mission, right? Like an actual step up, but still have the same nuances of the first game, right?
I highly doubt that.
Yeah, no, you're asking a lot, Gary.
Yeah,
well, no, because they're like, think about how much money they're putting into these remasters, right? And then they all flunk after flunk after flunk. Just take like the best parts of the missions and bring it into 2022. And I think you would have a blockbuster of a game. I don't even think people say that anymore, but boom, blockbuster. Okay.
Yeah, I think obviously there's a very tricky balancing act that Rare has to do here. On one hand, you have to stay true to the old players like us who experienced it on the Nintendo 64. We have to feel that nostalgia whenever we fire that game up. And then you also have the new players like Amon or some of the younger generations jumping in, that you have to make it comfortable enough for them. Because I guarantee you, a lot of these younger players, if they were to jump on an N64 right now, put in the cartridge and get a hold of that beefy
They would laugh at
controller,
us.
they would look
They
at it and be
would
like, I'm not
laugh and
doing this. Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Like,
First of
why
all,
did you guys become gamers? Like, this is what
Yeah.
you loved and appreciated for hours.
So
like
there's a very tricky
Yes.
balancing act that Rare has to do here, and Rare has done it. Rare is a very good game studio, so I have a lot of trust with them. They put out quality stuff, so I have a lot of trust in them for this. Hopefully, they don't betray it. We'll see.
One thing that I think would shock people, Amon, I don't know if you've ever played an N64, but there was one joystick. You had
it was like that weird three.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The
Like a
Trident.
Trident thing.
Yeah, it was a Trident. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how controls like that. I think would need the biggest update, is making it accessible for the 2 joystick layout of first-person shooters nowadays, because that one joystick thing ain't gonna fly in 2022.
With the gun just moving around the screen. Great.
I mean, that's all they could be doing. They could just be porting that game into the newer consoles and just remapping the controls.
It's very well
knows?
possible. We'll have to wait and see. Anything else on Perfect Dark before we move on to story number, or not Perfect Dark?
Perfect
That's
Dark.
another game.
Laptop God.
GoldenEye. Okay. Story number 2 then. Guys, a secret ending cutscene for Halo Infinite has been discovered. And I've totally not been using our little banners here. So apologies for the visual listener. You're not seeing all the quality we have here. But as I was saying, secret cutscene Halo Infinite. This was brought to my attention by Matt and Court over at Xbox A. So shout out to them. What happened? What appears to have been a cutscene that would have played in the mid-credits of the Halo Infinite credits has been discovered by fans, and potential implications are exciting. In the scene, which is available on YouTube, the pilot awakens in an alert from his Pelican and calls Master Chief to the cockpit. The Pelican states that a UNSC tag has been detected and that the tag's designation is friendly. The scene then ends, letting fans speculate at what's going on. Could this be Captain Lasky? Could it be Locke? Could it be Blue Team, Red Team, or the Arbiter and the Swords of San Helios? I got super excited when I saw this, guys. I'm throw it out there first. I hope this is the Arbiter. Like, I fanboyed real
You think
hard.
the Arbiter? Why the Arbiter of all of them? I think he wouldn't have a UNSC tag. Like,
Why
me and
wouldn't
my
he? He's a
friends talked
friendly.
hard on this. Yes, that doesn't, like, you could be a friendly but still be in the Covenant faction, right? That doesn't necessarily, like, UNSC to me at least means some sort of human. He didn't switch.
I would think
across
they would at
allegiance. They
least
were
give
just
some
in a
sort of
coalition
identifier to them, so they didn't
right?
shoot at their soldiers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I hear what you're saying. My only thing with that is I don't think it specifically has to be a human, and I think the cutscene is intentionally left like friendly. I think it's meant. Otherwise, they would say like who it is, right? Like, I have to believe that because they said friendly, it's someone that is like, oh, it's not the norm. It's not someone you would expect.
And we'll get into that.
The only person that comes to my mind is the Arbiter. And last we saw him and the Sword of San Helios were like leading a revolution against the Covenant, right? So like, Plus, this goes back to them going back to basics, in my opinion.
All right.
This is why I'm gonna go on the Arbiter train a little bit, and then you guys can tell me who you think it is. Amon, I have no idea if you even know who we're talking about because you didn't play the other Halos.
No, he
I'm
doesn't.
so confused here.
Yeah,
Just skip him.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
So,
I have too much.
So I think it's the Arbiter based on the fact that 343, the way they designed Halo Infinite, is a lot of going back to what made the Bungie games great. They took a lot of story beats and a lot of they cut out all the nonsense that they implemented in 4 and 5 and brought it back to basics. And the only other character that we've played as, besides, there's 2, Locke and then the Arbiter. I don't think it's Locke because no one liked Halo 5, and I don't think they're eager to bring Locke back. So it has to be the Arbiter. This is the closest thing to, in my opinion, to Halo 2 that we've had since then. And I would love a DLC where we play as the Arbiter. Like, bring it back. That was a thing sorely missing from 4 and 5 for me, is the ability to like I wanted to play as him. He was a character we grew to love in 2 and 3. So why? I mean, I know he made appearances, but why couldn't we not play as him? And that's my whole thing. I think they're going back to what everyone loved, and they love the Arbiter.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look too hard into this because this is one of 3 things. This is either cut content that wasn't supposed to be seen by anybody and they just didn't remove the files. In that case, I don't care. Or 2, this was a sleeper file for an upcoming DLC, which I don't think 343 would leave files in there for upcoming DLC because they know data mining is a thing, especially since you're releasing it to PC. Or 3, which a lot of people would love, and which is the juiciest idea, is that this was intentionally planted by 343 for data miners to find. I don't know which one this is. I lean more towards this is cut content. So I'm trying my hardest not to read more into it. Obviously, if I had to pick what was going on, I would want the Arbiter to return to. I remember that first level in Halo 2 just spawning in and you're the Arbiter. And it's insane. It was such a curveball to Halo players playing as an elite, a member of the Covenant. And yeah, it would be great to revisit the Arbiter. That's my take on it.
Garrett, please go off on why this isn't the Arbiter now. You have the floor.
No, I don't think it is just the Arbiter.
Okay.
Like, I think this is actually quite a big thing. Well, no, not quite a big thing. In short, me and my buddies were talking about it, and then like one conspiracy theory and 6 beers later, it became a thing. So, in short, we were yeah. So we were talking, and the way that it came out, it just sort of seems like, what if they accidentally, or not accidentally, sorry, poor wording, but this is the introduction to the co-op campaign. They redo the co-op campaign with all the cutscenes so that you could have 1 or 2 people in. They have Locke and the Arbiter crash down on the planet to go try to find the Master Chief or whatever, some weird buddy thing, so that you could choose to go through the co-op campaign with the Arbiter or Locke and the Master Chief. And then that would also introduce bringing the Arbiter and Locke over to the multiplayer so that they could sell more skins.
Whoa.
And I think that's another huge thing that they could do, right? And then they would have a huge cash cow. So I think it's not just the Arbiter. I think that they didn't want to put this in the original thing and they cut it, because if they released that, then they would know that the co-op campaign was planned not to be released with the original.
Yeah, I want to take your theory and dial it
Boom.
back just a little
Mic
bit.
drop.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I want to take that theory.
Give this man 6 more beers. He's gonna come up.
Yeah, I'm not
like-
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It was definitely more than 1 beer.
Get him the job application for 343.
I like where you're going with this, but I think you guys went way overboard.
Mhm.
If that is a great theory that this is an introduction to a co-op campaign. I think it's more likely going to be either a Spartan that we know, or a Spartan that maybe is part of the audio logs that we find all over Zeta Halo, or it's just going to be your multiplayer skin and you can jump in and play co-op campaign.
no.
Oh, don't
I mean,
kill me.
it would be the easiest thing for them to do, because if you
But
introduce
think
a
about
character,
how much money they could make
But why would they
off
do the
of
easiest
Arbiter
thing?
skins.
They're taking-
Everyone would
so
buy
They're
that stuff.
releasing co-op later, right?
Yeah.
So why would
Yeah.
they do the easiest?
if you
thing?
introduce a different character to the co-op campaign that's canon to the Halo lore, you're going to have to change up the story somehow. And then it would be kind of
Well, no, you wouldn't.
complicated
You'd have
for
to
them.
change up the script lines, right?
Script lines.
Wouldn't
and
you
it
just
was-
have to change up the script lines,
And
change
also-
the camera in an angle so you don't see the person's talking per
That's
se?
so
You
so
have
much
to
don't make
redo all
money?
the voice
though.
acting.
Yeah,
you have to
it's-
redo all the voice acting because
Yeah,
Atria, or not
But they're
Atriox, the
planning
Banished
to
would be
do
like,
a
oh, look at those
10-year
two,
campaign. They're planning to do like a big 10-year thing. Like, that's what we were talking about. Is like, dude, that would be a lot of money to do it. Yeah, but think about like how much of a news splash they made off of releasing this thing early. They've been
Yeah.
knocking, like, I'm not gonna lie, they've like Xbox has like, yes, it's fanboying, but they've been knocking PlayStation out of the water left and right since PlayStation 5 dropped,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Mhm.
As far as gaming goes, involvement, when PlayStation messes up, all you hear is crickets, but when Xbox messes up, they not only come out and talk about it, but they fix it later that day.
Yes.
Like, I think like they're taking a lot more consideration into this. And a co-op campaign with just the exact same cutscenes every time? No. I sort of thinking like a Gears of War 5 with like a slightly different campaign when you're doing it with your buddy. That sort of vibe.
Is Gears 5 different if you do it co-op?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've only
It
ever played
depends on
co-op.
who you were.
I've
Yeah,
only
like
ever played co-op.
me and my buddy played co-op, right? And like in the cutscenes we'd be talking like, are you seeing the same thing I'm, and he's like on a whole different thing. Like half the time where the girl goes crazy, he's
Yeah.
actually just like looking at my character, and he sent me a clip and my girl's just going nuts in a hallway. I was like, no wonder you didn't trust my person.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So like I don't think it needs to be that elaborate. Change the camera up a bit, get the people back to just change up the line to we instead of you. I don't think that's too much to ask. And then you have an entire campaign and get a few of the Marines to give Arbiter or Locke voice lines.
I hear you. I hear you, Garrett. Do I think that's what's going to happen? No, I don't. And I personally don't want them to do that because I like the campaign how it is. If for co-op campaign,
oh no, I'm thinking the exact same campaign
Yeah.
because it needs to start and finish on the same note. It's just you get to do it with your buddy now.
I think you can
That's
still. I think you can still do it with your buddy. Just make everyone Master Chief like they've done in every other one except Halo 2, where you could play co-op with the Arbiter.
The Arbiter, right?
It
That's
didn't
what
make
we're
sense.
thinking about.
Okay, but
You want to revive
yeah, I
back the
understand, but
youth.
it didn't make sense for the
No,
Arbiter to
yeah.
be in the mission that is a Master Chief mission in 2, but we still did it. So like I can suspend my immersion and be like, you know what? If I can select the Arbiter or Locke to be my co-op character, great. It's not going to keep the cutscenes the same. It's not going to change anything for me. Like in everyone else's mind, like Master Chief is the only one here. This is strictly a gameplay mechanic. I don't need cutscenes with that. I just want this to be tie into more story content, and I want that story content to focus on the Arbiter because I think his character is great, and I would love for him to like. Then that gives you a reason, like, okay, he's on Zeta Halo now. Like he wasn't there before, but we can suspend our immersion enough to be like, okay, we can play as him. Like it's fine. I don't want to bring my Spartan from. I don't want cat ear Spartans running around on Zeta Halo.
Oh god, they annoy me.
I don't want that.
I'm sorry.
Literally do not want that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. This cutscene could never be seen again. We honestly don't know. But it's fun to hypothesize. Aman, you've been you haven't really had anything to say. The first
what
two
I get
topics.
from this, what I get from this is that Garrett is a fucking creative mastermind. Give him like 20 beers, he's gonna come up with an entire game. But other than that, these sound like characters Halo fans haven't seen for a while. I could probably see them doing like in the final battle against Atrioc, like an end game thing where all of them come in there. All of them attacking Atrioc or something.
That'd be dope, actually.
That would be. I don't know. I just see that happening.
Master Chief's getting his butt handed to him by Atriox again, and then
and this Arbiter dude comes
Locke
in.
and Arbiter
I looked him
show
up. He
up.
looks like a bad guy, but he has those swords.
Yeah, that's the thing. He was a bad guy at first. He was an elite,
right?
So it was good. Listen, man, I just watched this whole hour-long Halo 1 through 3 documentary about like all the behind it. Like, oh, it was really
Love
good.
it.
So I'm feeling the Arbiter right now. Anything else on this before we move into story number 3, guys?
That's
I'm right.
All right, Garrett. Story number 3 is going to be a quick one, guys. It's coming from Jez Corden over at Windows Central. Playground Games co-founder Trevor Williams is replacing Gavin Rayburn as studio head. Gavin Rayburn, a game developer who's worked on games like Dirt, Grid, and Forza Horizon, has announced that after 12 years, he is leaving Playground Games. Gavin was a founding member of the studio, and taking his place will be fellow co-founder Trevor Williams, who will transition to studio head immediately as the team continues to develop Fable. I don't really have much to say. This just seems like someone leaving the industry, but I did want to make note of it. I don't think this will impact the quality of Fable in any way, shape, or form. I think Forza Horizon's still going to get the updates it was going to get. 12 years is a long time to be at a company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, from what I've read, this was a mutual agreement between the two co-founders. They knew this was coming, so yeah, I don't foresee this affecting any game development.
He was bound to leave. He sold his company. He made millions. He left.
I guess we can just say thank you for 12 years of Forza Horizon. It's been fun.
Exactly.
That's right.
Good.
That's right. Good job. I only brought it up because people see people leaving these days and get worried that there's some sort of insidious thing going on.
Yeah.
So we did want
And
to
honestly,
mention it.
it's probably a good thing if like Fable's still 2+ years out. If he left closer to the release date, it would probably cause more drama.
Exactly.
This way,
Yeah. They'd be like, oh, well, remember we have a Halo Infinite where they had like 3 different game directors.
God.
And
He obviously wanted to see Forza Horizon through and then make his departure.
Yeah.
So
I fully agree. But just a little tidbit there. All right, guys. Story number 4. And again, I'm not using the banners. My lord. This is why I have Tom here usually, who's helping me out with the tech side. Nobody on the audio side has any idea what I'm talking about. They're like, banners? What? Banners? Yeah. Story number 4, we have Game Pass update number 1 of January. So as we do twice a month here, we run through the list of games coming to Xbox Game Pass, so you can plan your gaming accordingly. Speaking is hard sometimes. Available right now is Gora Goa for Cloud Console PC, Olija for Cloud Console PC, The Pedestrian for Cloud Console PC, Ember for Cloud Console PC, Mass Effect Legendary Edition for console and PC, The Outer Wilds for Cloud Console and PC. On January 13th, we get Spelunky 2 for console and PC, and the Anacrusis. On January 18th, we get Nobody Saves the World for console and PC. That is from the developers of Guacamelee. And on January 20th, we get Rainbow Six Extraction launching into console and PC. Alongside this announcement came the news that Uplay Plus, or Ubisoft Plus, I guess is what it's called now, is coming to Xbox consoles. Not Game Pass, just Xbox consoles. Guys, I'm going to stop the Game Pass talk right there. First of all, I want to know any of those piquing your interest. And if you want to give me thoughts on Ubisoft Plus coming to consoles, feel free. I'm going to start with you since you haven't really gotten to talk the last few topics. What do you, any of those games looking good to you?
I already downloaded Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I played Outer Wilds a long time ago. Great game. I don't think I'll download it again. But the Anacrusis sounds really interesting. I know I played Back for Blood. It was kind of disappointing. Expected a lot more from it. But Anacrusis looks good. It's like Deathloop and Back for Blood merged into one. Look, I like the art style. Looks cool. I think that's the only one on the list I'll probably check out aside from Mass Effect. But yeah.
Okay. Ethan, any of those games look interesting to you?
So obviously Mass Effect, but unfortunately I already paid real money for it, so that kind of upset me. But and it wasn't even that long ago. It was like last month I bought it. I had no idea. I was a little upset. But the other game that I'm looking forward to is The Outer Wilds. This is a game that I've heard so much about, but I know nothing about. It feels like it doesn't exist in my timeline. So I really want to pick that up because I've heard so many people talk about it and praise it. So I'm definitely going to be playing Outer Wilds when that comes out.
Great. Garrett, any of those?
Nothing too much, really. Like, I've already played everything that I wanted to off that list, so I would go through the Ubisoft, see what they could offer, and maybe I'll try out Rainbow Six Extraction just because I like shooting monsters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the Anacrusis. I have since it was revealed. I think it's Summer Game Fest, and I remember I went on Xbox Expansion Pass and talked with Luke Lore about it, and he interviewed the devs for that game. So it is early access. It's like a Left 4 Dead style game in space, so you're killing aliens. I think it could be a lot of fun. Hopefully, I can get my friends together. Maybe we can all play together at some point. So I'd be down for that game. Nobody Saves the World isn't a game I'm like overly excited for. I did see it has co-op now, which maybe if my brother's into it, I would hop into that. Not really my style of game that I'm going to play solo. And guys, I literally could not care less about Rainbow Six Extraction. I literally don't get it. Why this game looks awful and everyone's like hyping it up. They're like W for Game Pass. Yeah. And
I'm not
like,
gonna lie, it looks pointless. I'm probably gonna uninstall it within 3-4 days.
It's
but,
just riding off the hype of
monsters.
Siege.
Yeah.
It's really what it
that's all
is.
that it's doing.
I'll try it out, but
Siege was good.
Siege is still gonna be popular after that one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Siege is coming to PC Game Pass the same day, by the way. I didn't include it because it's already on console Game Pass, but I guess I should have. Nothing about it looks interesting. If me and my friends want to play it and we really like the Anacrucic sus for some reason, then maybe I'll download it just to get some co-op shooting in. But I don't know. I just feel like there's so many better games you can play. Like, just go play Halo. If you want to shoot things, just go play Halo. It's fine. Ubisoft Plus coming to consoles. A lot of people misinterpreted this as Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass, and they had to specify, hey, it's not coming to Game Pass. Do we think that this is an early sign that it's not right now, but it could be coming? I'm going to open the floor. Let me know your thoughts.
I don't think so. Ubisoft is a very, very large company, and they're very protective of their games, and they like money. I mean, Ubisoft is kind of one of those blood-sucking corporations. They really like money. So it's hard for me to believe that a ton of Ubisoft titles are going to be coming to Game Pass, but you never know with Xbox. Game Pass consistently surprises me with who puts their games on there. So we'll see. It's up in the air.
I always thought that they were the lightest of the scum suckers. Like halfway house. They're recovery house on the way of greed.
They're the first that started NFTs, really.
Yeah.
The first big corporation that did that. So, I mean, they're pretty bad.
Yeah, but
listen, in the current...
But it's just like, when you got them up there, who else is up there? Like Activision and EA and
those
Tencent, right?
Yeah,
but EA plays on Game Pass.
Well, hold on. Like, just to talk about what Garrett's
That doesn't make them
right
forgivable.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about business etiquette. But I didn't think about the NFT thing. Yeah, they're pretty shitty. All right. They relapsed. Their epidemic went through the halfway.
I mean,
house.
there
They
is
will
some
recover.
Assassin's Creed titles on Game Pass. So I just remembered because I saw Assassin's Creed 3 on there the other day. So maybe it's not so out of the realm of possibilities, but anything could happen with Ubisoft. I don't know.
I'm looking at this from more business point of view. First of all, they're going to test it out. They're going to see how many people subscribe to Uplay Plus through Xbox. If the number is overwhelmingly low, then I think they're going to think about adding it to Game Pass. Or they might add like an extra Game Pass Legendary or something, where you have to pay a few dollars extra, and those few dollars go to Ubisoft, but you get like Uplay Plus and EA.
I would hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like $2 more.
I think it would be more of like an EA Play situation, probably.
Yeah.
My problem with that is Ubisoft Plus costs $15 a month.
Yeah.
So it's
that is kind of a lot.
It's literally the same amount as Game Pass Ultimate. So if they rolled it in, Game Pass would. There's no way Microsoft could afford it.
I would love to learn the biography of the people who pay for that.
Same, because Ubisoft releases
the median of their type of people. They release overly boring games, I think.
3 games a year, maybe.
Yeah, it's usually a Far Cry,
3 games a year.
an Assassin's Creed,
and
Watch Dogs.
And they're transitioning
or Rainbow Six.
Yeah, they're transitioning most of those to live service games. So, like, what are you gonna get for your subscription?
Yeah.
Like what day one titles if they're all live service? What's coming? You can play their back catalog. Cool.
I wouldn't mind jumping into.
I don't know, man. I'm waiting for Far Cry Primal 2.
Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia.
Yeah, but you could just buy those for like $3. I hear $4 isn't a bad deal to pick up some games.
I mean, they could just be like, I'm gonna pay for it for a month and beat all of them in a month, and
I mean, I don't like Ubisoft games, as everyone that listens to this knows. I haven't been a fan of like 10 years. I think the more reasonable expectation for Ubisoft Plus is when a new Assassin's Creed drops, instead of buying it for $60, $70, you subscribe for $15, beat it, and then move on. I think that's going to be how people take this. I don't think people are going to be subscribing $15 a month and staying subscribed to play. Because like at a certain point, just go buy the Assassin's Creed game. Like go buy Valhalla. It's been out for like 2 years. You don't, instead of paying $15 a month, just pay like the 45 on sale or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys, on Ubisoft? I know I
Still
I got
think
a
it's
little
funny
worked
that they thirst emailed everyone who didn't finish their game.
up.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that.
Oh, and I will say, Garrett, in your hierarchy of scumbag companies, it's definitely Activision, Ubisoft, then EA. Like EA has turned it around.
Really?
They're still
EA
garbage.
has turned it around a lot, but like,
After Battlefield 2042, you're going to say EA's turned around.
They don't sexually harass their
yeah,
employees.
that's what I was thinking
Okay,
too.
that's true. Yeah.
Well,
we don't know
that has
but
come to light yet. Yeah.
that comment may not
Like,
age well.
if,
So let's
if
be
in
careful.
6
Yeah.
months, if in 6 months EA has a big scandal about sexually harassing employees, then they've always been garbage, and I stand by that statement.
Hell yeah, let's get it.
Trash. They're all mouth breathing trash. Except BioWare, because you make Mass Effect. and
Yeah,
Dragon Age.
BioWare, just get out of there. You're from my hometown,
Run
Edmonton.
away.
Get out.
Get out what you can. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Do we got any comments? We got Bucky. Bucky with a little wide-eyed look. Okay. All right, guys. We're not done talking about Game Pass. We're gonna go to story number 5. And 2022, guys, is secretly already stacked for Game Pass. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
but I'm pulling from Game Reactor. There are 31 new titles lined up to come to Game Pass this year. And that starts with the Anacrusis, as we've just mentioned. But also in January, we will see Paparazzi and Windjammers 2 join. In February, we get Shredders, Edge of Eternity, and Total War Warhammer 3. March, we'll see Weird West. That is from 2 former Arcane developers. In April, we get Stalker 2. Excuse me. In spring, we get Warhammer 40k Darktide. The summer, we get Midnight Fight Express and Redfall. October, we get Scorn. And then unannounced, we still have A Plague Tale Requiem, Atomic Heart, Bushiden, Chinatown Detective Agency, Crusader Kings 3, Euden Chronicles Rising, Frog Detectives, The Entire Mystery, Hello Neighbor 2, Loot River, Nobody Saves the World is on this list, but we now have a release date for that. Party Animals, Pigeon Simulator, Replaced, Signalis, Slime Rancher 2, Sniper Elite 5, Somerville, and Trek to Yomi. Some of those titles I don't care about. Some of them look fire. Trek to Yomi, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but people are like, this is the samurai game for Xbox. They got Ghost of Tsushima over there on PlayStation. But any, I know I just read a bunch, but any of those you're really looking forward to?
Scorn was that
Gross
how do
looking
you say
one.
it? Yeah, the moist trailer. Like the only descriptive word for that. Like I don't know. It looks like a it looks like a pretty solid lineup for the year. We might be bored for like the next month or so, but I don't know. Got Halo till then.
Either any of those you guys are looking forward to, Ethan, Aman?
Yeah.
No, I read a ton.
Atomic Heart definitely is up there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then Stalker 2 Shatter Chernobyl. I'm really excited about that game as well. I mean, and this list is just going to grow, right? I mean, this is what we got at the beginning of the year. We're just going to see more and more added on. It just continues to be the best value in gaming, and that's Game Pass. So, I mean, I'm excited for this year. I'm probably going to play all 31 of these titles just because I can. I can just download them, try them out. It's going to be great.
Aman?
Yeah, Trek to Yomi, Somerville, Replaced, Atomic Heart, Redfall, Starfield. Great lineup.
You know, Starfield wasn't even on that list.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
There's a
There's
few
another
that
one.
weren't on there.
Has it been delayed?
No, don't
Oh,
dare.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. The list sounds amazing. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some surprises throughout the year, like how we got Outriders, Back for Blood. So yeah, can't wait for it.
Absolutely. I fully agree. There's a lot of good titles on there that I'm looking forward to, many of which you've named. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Paparazzi. That's a game where you're gonna take pictures with dogs doing stuff. That game looks adorable.
Really?
Yeah, that game looks adorable.
It sounds like the sort of stuff Tom is into.
Alpaca Tom is in the building saying, that crisp microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a crisp microphone for sure. All right, guys. That is all the news we have, but we're not done. The podcast is going on a little longer because leading into 2022, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to in Xbox's 2022. It's going to be a big year for games on both ecosystems. Actually, all three, I should say, because Nintendo does exist. And I got to say, Nintendo's 2022 is looking pretty good over there. But we're an Xbox show. So I want 5 things from each of you. I gave you homework. So hopefully y'all did it. 5 things you're looking forward to.
But I could do it.
I'm Garrett now. Okay, 5 things you're all looking forward to, Xbox related. And Ethan, you have the pen and paper. So I'm going to start with you. What is your number 5 thing you're looking forward to in 2022 for Xbox?
Okay, so I'm going to start off with something that's not a video game, but it has to do with Xbox, because I think most of the video games I have on this list are going to get covered because we have some obvious ones here. I want to see what Microsoft's business strategy is going forward this year, what they're going to be doing with acquisitions. Obviously, we're coming off of a year of a massive acquisition of Bethesda. I have a feeling that this year they're going to be rebuilding the war chest. So I think they're going to be doing that. And I know about every 3 months, people throw out rumors that they're trying to acquire a Japanese studio. Now, I have my thoughts on that, how it's probably never going to happen. And if it does happen, it's not going to be what we think. So for one, you look at the main players in Japan, you have 4 of them: Nintendo, Bandai Namco, Square Enix, and Sega. Nintendo, out of the question. Obviously, that's never going to happen. So you have the other 3. Any one of those 3 is going to be a deal that has the same price tag, if not more, than Bethesda. So I think that would take a few years for Xbox to get to the point where they want to drop that amount of money again. And then also, secondly, if you buy one of those 3 studios, you are not going to have an exclusivity deal in the contract. You are not that those studios are not going to say we're not making these games for Nintendo or PlayStation, because that is what makes up the vast majority of the Japanese market. So, I mean, you're going to tell the Japanese market that they're not going to put Final Fantasy or the Tales series or Kingdom Hearts like on PlayStation and Nintendo's. No, it's not going to happen. So if anything, if they're able to acquire one of these studios, it's going to be still non-exclusive third-party developer for both consoles, but under the Xbox Game Studios banner. So I think that's completely out of the question. So my theory is it's going to be a rebuilding year. I would like to see Xbox buy up some small indie teams, try and get into the indie market and focus more on those small game experiences that we love through Game Pass. I think that would be exciting. But for now, it's time to rebuild the war chests until we make another giant deal.
It's not my number 5, but I'm gonna go next because you kind of lead into mine. I also had acquisition on my list. I literally wrote, I can't wait. It says can't wait to see who Xbox acquires in 2020.
Really? I thought I was going to be the only one with it.
No, I went.
It's my number 5 as well.
Really? Oh, damn.
Whoops.
So I am very much in the
4 for 4, by the way.
Oh, it was on your list too, Garrett?
Yeah, number 4, but
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think we can have a talk about acquisition now. Like I'm almost certain that we saw PlayStation acquire a lot of studios this year. Like I think they got 4, if I remember: Blue Point, Fire Sprite, Nixus, and Housemarque. I believe that's all they acquired this year. I might have missed one, but they acquired a lot of smaller studios, and they're not taking the buy a publisher route like Bethesda. And I kind of want to see Xbox do that in 2022. They have a few studios that they're fostering relationships with. Whether they get bought or not, who knows? I'm not saying, I don't want the whole industry to be consolidated, but like it's going that way. Like we can't look past it. There are going to be more acquisitions. There's going to be more studios. We all know who I would like to be acquired, such as, a Sobo, but I think a Focus Home would probably get them if they're going to sell. There's other studios up for sale. I don't think we're going to see as much as I would love it, like Sega. I just think it's way too big. And like you said, they need to make some money back, prove that Xbox can stand this generation. And you bring up a good point with the exclusivity deal. I would struggle to find a hole where they're like, yeah, we're gonna be exclusive to Xbox. Sorry, Japanese people, you have to buy the Series X and put it in your 4x4 apartment.
It's not going to happen.
So Garrett and Aman, you also had on your list go on acquisitions.
Well,
Okay. Go ahead, Garrett.
I was just gonna I'm just beating the old drum. I just hope they buy WB out of everything, and that's mainly for the technology, not even the IP. That could be pieced out. I don't care who that goes to, but like Nemesis system in and of itself, and I forget the names of another few, but they have a lot of good tech for their systems that would like revolutionize Western RPGs, and Xbox is already a natural fit with them. So or with the Western RPG department. So I think like if they could get the tech that WB has patented, would be crazy gaming in like 5 years.
Aman, what was
Yeah. I had acquisitions number 5. I had WB games on there as well. Again, for the Nemesis system and all of that. But I did also have some other studios. Next year, we're getting a lot of smaller titles on Xbox Game Pass, such as Atomic Heart. It looks big, but it is still an indie development team. If that game does well, I would like to see Xbox acquire those foreign studios out in Europe and China developing these games. For a Japanese studio, Xbox already has Tango software, but I think they're going to be focused more on like horror stuff. So I don't think they're going to acquire anyone in Japan because like it's unethical for Japanese companies to sell to American companies and all of that. So, but I think they will build a studio from the ground up in that region. And to develop JRPGs and the things they're lacking, or they could just make Game Pass deals with like Sega and get like maybe an exclusive game out there because they were partnering on some cloud game that Sega was working on. They could possibly get exclusivity for that. That could work out. But yeah, Moon Studios, I think that's another big studio Xbox could look to acquire. They made the Ori games.
I think Moon specifically said they don't want that. I think they distanced themselves from that.
Yeah, well, any good indie team like Somerville's coming out next year. That game looks cool. I think Jump Ship are the developers for that game. Small team. If the game does well, acquire them. The game does look creative. So, yeah, that's all I have for acquisitions.
All right, we all had a similar train of thought there. Apologies if you can hear that siren. It is a fire alarm going off in my town. That's how we alert the firefighters.
Oh my gosh.
Ethan, give me your next one. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to either the release or more information on Avowed. This is a game that I am extremely excited for. It's an Obsidian project. I am a huge fan of Obsidian RPGs. Next to BioWare, probably it would be right under BioWare for my favorite studio. And yeah, we haven't seen a lot of it. We saw the teaser trailer, and that's basically it. We're not getting a lot of information, but the release kind of window is late 2022, early 2023. So it's possible we get it this year. But I think for sure we're going to get to see some more information coming up, whether it be Gamescom, Summer Games Fest, E3, what have you. I'm hoping to see some gameplay and get some more information on this game because I'm super, super excited for it.
It's a good one. I agree. I'm right there with you. Looking forward to that. I'm going to go to my next one. A Plague Tale Requiem. This might be my most anticipated game of next year. It's supposed to be coming early 2022. A Plague Tale is literally like in my top 2 for last generation. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't understand what's not to like. I love that game, right up there with Hellblade. Those 2 are my pinnacle of last generation. So yeah, this is expanding on everything we saw in the first one. It's giving you more offense options. It's going to look absolutely gorgeous on the Series X, and it's day 1 Game Pass. So yeah, and rats, Tom. Yes, there will be rats. There will be so many rats. That's something I'm really looking forward to, and I'm really glad that Xbox is allowing me to play that game for free. Well, Game Pass sub, but no additional costs. They're a big one of bringing Plague Tale to the masses, and that's again their relationship with the Sobo. They have a very good relationship. Microsoft Flight Simulator, a Plague Tale's been on Game Pass for like 3 years now. Aman, we're gonna head over to you.
So I'm just looking forward to more. The Xbox's E3 or a big summer conference this year. I want to see more information, more gameplay on the games that were previously announced, like Fable, Perfect Dark, Contraband, Avowed, Project Pentiment, and what's that team Compulsion's new game that they're working on, and all of that. I just want to hear more information about those. Looking forward to see some gameplay maybe, and yeah, just looking forward to their summer conference.
I think we can all echo that. Garrett, what's your next one, buddy?
We're at 4, right?
Whatever.
Well, these guys, took it out of my mouth with the whole waiting for more information on it, on Avowed and Fabled and whatnot. So I'll change it up. I'm waiting for Grounded to be in a finished game.
Oh yeah, it's still not
Yeah.
Because
actual
like
game.
low key, I am pleasantly annoyed with that game. Like I have a whole little thing I could go on a tangent about that because like you go into the game and you play a whole bunch and you think you're done, and then you go back 6 months later and now like they added a whole little leveling up system for your weapons and things. So it's like your OP character is weak as crap now, but in a good way because they added a whole little like weapons RPG system. And it's like I just want to put it on its shelf and play it once it's done. But like I want to do it now. Right? If that makes any sense. So I'd say that. I can't wait for that to finish.
That's
just like give me whatever it's going to be and let me play.
That's a good one. I totally forgot about Grounded.
Yeah, and I've been low key just like once a week I'm in their Discord just like give me an end date on this.
It's funny because like I'm pretty sure it's still installed on my Xbox and I keep updating it. Like there's always every so often there's like a 2 GB patch and then it just keeps saying early. I'm like one day I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna play.
Yeah, they added like a whole desert biome now. Like a lot of fun. They fleshed out the haze, a whole new RPG system. But then they always say it's like, 0.7 done. It's like this is already amazing. I just don't want to go through, do a whole nother playthrough all the way to the end, and then they go and shake it up completely again. It's just like just finish it. I don't care if it's a DLC at this point, but just let me have a foundation to build upon. Right, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's my 4.
Okay, all right. We're gonna circle back around. Number 3, Ethan.
Yes. So first of all, before I do my third one, I want to shout out Happy Cloud Gamer mentioning Crossfire X. I'm also very excited for that. It looks really interesting. I've never played any of the other Crossfire series, so I'm excited for that. But the next one on my list is the obvious one. I think a lot of us probably have this on our lists, and that's Starfield.
Yeah, literally number 3 on my list.
Starfield is the first new IP from Bethesda in 25 years, which is mind-boggling to think of. I mean, you don't really think of it like that, but it is. It's crazy. But this is gearing up to be an incredible video game. I have nothing but trust in Bethesda Game Studios and what they put out, and the fact that they're taking on a project that is looking this massive and this incredible with a space setting. I'm super excited for Starfield, and I'm looking forward to seeing actual gameplay this year. We have to see gameplay, hopefully in one of these conferences coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, it's number 3 for me too. I just, Skyrim was literally a game I played a ton of. And now you're giving me a sci-fi adventure where Mass Effect is literally my favorite trilogy in gaming.
It's gonna be nuts.
If they do this right, this has all the potential to be an absolutely
It legit might be the
game.
death of the podcast. Nobody will show up to the show anymore.
Playing Starfield, leave me alone.
Literally just going to stream Starfield, and that's going to be the channel. Because I'm just, and it's weird because like my taste have obviously changed since I played Skyrim. Like I'm not the big open world RPG guy anymore, but I will certainly be that guy again if Starfield can live up to expectations. We have to see more gameplay. I fully expect to, leading up to E3, leading Summer Game Fest, I fully expect them to be ramping up that marketing cycle, and we're going to see lots of stuff. So, Aman, you were shaking your head. Is this also your number 3 by any chance?
It's not number 3, but it's on the list.
Yeah, it was my number 1.
Oh,
That was my number 1 as well.
You guys can go, Aman. You
Yeah,
can talk
well,
about
I'll just say it now. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
easily the most anticipated game of the year. It has for me, it has a similar amount of hype level that I had for Cyberpunk going into it. The scope of the game just sounds amazing. The background lore that they're creating for the game just sounds like so Bethesda, and Todd Howard. He's gonna deliver another masterpiece. I'm just sure of it.
Yeah, I really hope they have like a good media thing beforehand. Like sort of like how Fallout 4, like remember those little videos about like the special thing? I hope they have like a whole little thing about that so we know a little bit before going in. If that
They already have those sort of videos, or you could just go check out my Starfield. Sorry, something fell on it.
He was so excited.
Or you could just go check out my Starfield video, which gives you all the details you need to know.
That's right. Everything we know about Starfield, it's on our channel. Go check it out. Okay. Garrett, anything else you want to say about Starfield before we circle back around? We're getting down to the top 2 here.
nope. That's
Okay, Ethan, hit me with it.
All right, so my next one is a weird one, literally. Atomic Heart.
God damn it.
This game looks insane. I mean, it makes any Hideo Kojima project look tame. I mean, I don't know what to think of it. We've seen a lot of gameplay. We've seen a lot of different enemy types. I mean, we've seen so much of this game, yet I know nothing about it. I have no idea what direction it's going to take. I don't know what it's about. I have no clue what the story is going to be, but I know I'm going to be playing it. It looks polished. It looks like a good first-person shooter experience from what we've seen. And it just looks so varied. The different biomes, the different enemy types. I can imagine that combat in this game is going to be really, really fun. So, yeah, I'm really excited for Atomic Heart. And it's going to be on Game Pass, of course. Why not?
Yeah.
Garrett, go off. I assume this was on your list.
Yeah, this one was once again on my list. I feel like I'm really in the right podcast at this point. You guys basically just did it all for me. But no, like for the environmental shooting, like I'm getting sort of vibes that it's going to be a cross between the weirdness of Control, but the environmental shooting and political background of BioShock. So like I am really excited for this game. And yeah, he took it right out of my mouth. The environments that you go through, the weapons, the enemy. Oh yeah, it just looks beautiful. I thought it was actually going to be a fake game just because it looked too good. Sort of like that. What's that space game that everyone bought the ships for? That did
No Man's
Sky.
Citizen.
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought it was going to be a Star Citizen type deal, but I hear
We all
Star
went in
Citizen
for it.
is shaping up, so you can't even slam that too much no more. But yeah. I can't wait for it. It's going to be crazy.
Okay. Aman, I'm gonna go to you next for your number 2.
So number 2 on my list is Game Pass and all the surprises it's gonna bring this year. You know, this like 2021 alone, we got a bunch of surprises. Back for Blood, Outriders. I did not expect those to be on their
Yeah.
day one.
Fair enough.
And I'm pretty sure they're gonna ramp it up to a whole new level this year. A lot more surprises. Can't wait for it.
I agree. Well, we just talked about the 30 whatever games already confirmed, and that's without knowing everything that's coming out, like third-party games. And I mean, listen, if you had asked me in 2020, is MLB The Show from Sony studio coming over?
Crazy.
It's just unpredictable. So, okay, my number 2 is Halo Infinite DLC. Or a story expansion, whatever you want to call it. Halo Infinite is a game I literally think about all the time now. I'm back on the Halo hype train in a way I haven't been since Halo 2 and 3. I just, all my theories earlier about the Arbiter, you could see like I was getting worked up. Like I need something 343. Like you have to put out more story content this year. And maybe not just one drop, like maybe 2 drops. Like you might need one like spring when you drop the co-op and Forge, and then one to round out the year to keep your game like in everyone's mind. I fully believe that. Alpaca Tom says, yes, a story expansion since the game isn't finished. Tom, we've been over this, all right? I won't stand for the Halo Infinite slander anymore. It's a finished game. You could call this Halo 6 and call it a day. It's done. It's fine.
Yeah, just saying that your slander and Ethan's arrival does sort of sync up.
You're fired.
We had some other comments. Mayday Bomber, when Amon knocked something over, said that was Amon intimidating the audience into watching. And,
Weird flex, but a flex.
And,
Yeah,
Bucky Blue says, I was thinking, wow, he's excited. For sure. Okay. We're back to Ethan for your number one.
Oh, we were supposed to go from 5 to 1. I've been going to 1 to 5.
Whatever you
That's
want.
okay.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
I'm excited to finally play Deathloop. This is a timed exclusive. I believe it was a 12-month timed exclusive.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we should be seeing it. We should be seeing it coming to Xbox this year and probably on Game Pass because it is a Bethesda IP. And so, I mean, obviously, we all saw Deathloop take over the world when it first came out. Got 10 out of 10 on IGN. Critics were raving for it. Fans were raving about it. Got a bunch of award nominations at the Game Awards. Don't remember if they won any. But I'm finally going to play Deathloop, something I've wanted to play since it came out. So
that's not on my list, but yeah, I'll check it out. I'm not overly anticipating it. Reviewers that I trust a little more than the other games media, they didn't care for it. So it's plus time loop games. I got a sour taste in my mouth from 12 minutes. So I'm not really.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. Here we go.
Yeah. Amon, what is your number one?
Number one is Gotham Knights.
Ooh, good choice.
I can't wait for this game. As a DC fan, as a Batman fan, this is the perfect game for me. I'm a little disappointed Batman's not in it, but I think this is the right direction now. We got a shit ton of Batman in the last 3 gens. It's time to move on. Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, cool. We also got the Wonder Woman game coming up soon. Gotham Knights, just can't wait for it.
Amon, I like something you said right there. We got a lot of Batman last gen. It's time to move on. Let it go.
I was thinking the exact same thing. You took the words out of my mouth.
If I'm being completely honest, Batman's gonna be in the game. They're gonna sneak him in somewhere, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It's just inevitable. But he doesn't need a solo game anymore. There's 4 of them. If you really want to experience those, go back and play those. I don't think they can top the Arkham experience. So I just think they shouldn't make one. Or they could make a Batman Beyond game. That would be cool.
Tom says Batman will be DLC. He also says Suicide Squad, don't sleep on it.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. That game looks really fun.
Shit, it looks like Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's definitely got those vibes. Gotham Knights, good shout. I'm super hyped for that. I can't wait to be Nightwing. Oh man.
Yeah.
Childhood dream right there. Garrett, please give me your number one.
Well, my whole list was picked apart already, so I'll give you an honorable mention.
Give me one.
All right. Well, that's Starfield. But I hope that there's some sort of announcement or something on some compatibility with some VR system.
Oh, Tom will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, that's it. I would just like to try some VR and not have to buy a computer for it, because that would be the second reason behind getting video for the podcast, and getting VR is the only reasons I have for getting a PC. So if I can knock it down to just the podcast,
yeah,
it'd be pretty good.
I specifically hope they don't announce it then, just to drive me towards the PC. No, Tom up top said he also wants to see a VR device put on the Xbox, which, to be fair, PlayStation VR 2 looks kind of fire. Those specs.
Yeah, it does. It looks fun.
Those
Eye
specs are
tracking,
looking good.
that sounds cool. That sounds nice.
It's like 90 to 120 FPS, 4K OLED.
I mean, maybe Xbox has a bad taste of its mouth from the Kinect tiers. I mean, they've
so.
tried to go into accessory market before, and it's just never honestly, worked for Xbox.
I think they should have just taken a little bit slower, and it could have been something. It was not every 80% of Kinect games. I personally like Kinect. But there was the oddball games that were a lot of fun, like that Fantasia music game where you were sort of like that game Fantasia 2000 or that movie Fantasia 2000 with Mickey Mouse on the rocks. You sort of do like that. It's a bopper of a game.
Amon's just shaking his head.
I'm never heard of that. Remember you had the.
Thank you for your valuable input, Garrett. You're worthwhile.
What'd you say, Amon?
No, remember Garrett was on about this movie, and he's talking about space monkeys.
Space monkeys.
Planet of the Apes?
No, but that is don't get me wrong, that is something I would say. The movie is the space monkeys.
Listen, if
it was Star Trek.
If they're going with a headset, it should be Quest 2, I think. I think that should be the one they're going to make compatible. Even if it's just on the even if they just do something on the PC front, make games for it. Yeah. And then make it maybe there's Game Pass VR games that they have a deal with Steam, Valve, or hey, you plug it, or not Meta now or whatever, whoever's making Quest. Man, it's so hard. To just plug it in and play some Xbox Game Pass VR games. That'd be cool. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'll keep the dream alive for you guys. Yeah. Speaking of dreams, guys.
Oh God, I know what you're gonna say.
Number one, the thing I'm looking forward to the most in 2022. The return of my beloved boy.
I knew it.
A new Banjo-Kazooie game.
Really?
He's gotta come. It's time. We know that Xbox, they saw Psychonauts 2 and they're like, wow, these platformers getting amazing scores. Let's make our Banjo-Kazooie game. I don't care if it doesn't have to be released this year, but it's going to be announced. I fully believe it. They can't ignore the Banjo fans for this long. We've been vocal. They know.
That's it.
There are millions of Banjo-Kazooie fans. And they need it. They need the platforming mascot. Sony's got Ratchet, and that's kind of it right now. Although I hope Sly Cooper comes back. Obviously Mario, and then every other person on Switch is a platforming game, so they got it covered over there. But Xbox, we need it. Psychonauts 2, Raz is going to be put away for a while, and he doesn't really have the mascot appeal. He's not kid friendly looking. He's kind of creepy. Got a big head. Banjo-Kazooie, he's a bear and a bird. What's not to love? It's going to happen. And I will make that prediction every year until it happens. So if we're doing this in 2023, don't be surprised when I say number one is Banjo-Kazooie finally coming back.
That would be great from Rare, a remastered GoldenEye and a new Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, that would be a good year for him.
Be pretty cool.
That'd be a good year for him.
Mm-hmm. Since Everwild
they're too busy with Everwild.
I don't know. I heard just this week that that Rare has divided into teams, and that the majority is working on Sea of Thieves, but they have 3 or 4 smaller teams working on those other projects. So
we'll see.
A Banjo and Killer Instinct were the 2 I heard floating around. I don't know. I just hope. Hey guys, that's my belief, and that's all I got. Is there anything else anyone would like to add before we wrap the show up?
Ooh, honorable mention. The game Xbox and Kojima are working on.
Oh yeah,
it's announced this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good shout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, chat. Thank you all for watching along with us. It was a fun show. Had enjoyed interacting with every one of you. This is we got 8 in the 8 here right now. So thank you everyone for coming to hang out. We will be back next Thursday. You can check out the other videos we have on the channel. Please like, share, subscribe. Head over to audio services. Give us ratings over there. It really does help us out, and we appreciate it so much. Ethan, What'd you think of your new? What'd you think of the first show?
It was fantastic. I had a great time talking with you guys about video games. We bounced off of each other nicely. And yeah, it was a great conversation. It ran longer than from what I've seen your guys' other podcasts. And I think that's telling that we have a lot to talk about this year. It's going to be a great year to talk about video games.
That is right. If people wanted to keep up with you, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at WhiteSeaDeer1. I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/WhiteSeaDeer. If you guys want to go follow me on there, I plan on starting that back up sometime this year.
Great. Everyone, make sure to go drop him a follow. Garrett, where can they find you? He's
Wayworn
muted.
G on Twitter and Xbox.
Great. And Aman, where can they find you? You're just shaking your head sad.
You can find me at Amon_M05 on Twitter.
Okay. And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. That's a 1 instead of an I and an O instead of an A. And follow us at Project XTalk to stay up to date with all our latest videos and announcements. Until next time, we will see you right here Thursday, 5 p.m. next week. Goodbye.